I Want to Believe. Acknowledgements. Organizing beneath and against the murderous repression of numerous anti-communist regimes, the Posadist movement shrouded itself in the clandestine organization style pioneered by the Bolsheviks. There are still many mysteries about the Posadists, including the International's full reach and structure, as well as the identity of militants referred to in circulars by a single initial corresponding to their pseudonymous, quote, party name, which itself changed with context or over time. My decoding of thousands of internal documents from the movement, many transcribed from lunfardo-inflicted Argentine Spanish by an Italian secretary, was aided by a number of memoirs and interviews that got me closer to the full story. I am especially indebted to the assistance of ex-Posadists Luciano Dondero, Guillermo Almeida, and Hector Menendez, and the researchers Alejandro Agostinelli, Carlos Mignon, Costanza Bosch, and Horacio Tarsus. Since most of the contemporary Posadist movement declined to be interviewed, however, myths may at times overtake the reality. As a result, there is less attention to the life and militancy of the women of the movement than I would ideally have liked, especially Posadis's wife Candida Previtera, his oldest daughter Elvira, his partner in the last years of his life, known only by the party name Inés, and his second daughter's tutor, Renée. I hope that as a result of this book, their stories can be told, if they wish them to be. All translations are mine, unless otherwise noted. I attempted a standard translation for texts not written by Posadists, with significant help from translation software and native speakers. Militants of the non-Spanish-speaking International were told to leave Posadis's Argentine idioms and heavy redundancies intact in order to not interfere with, quote, the poetry of Posadis. Quote, we were told that Posadis in Spanish was a poet, with much of his wisdom contained in his phrase, British section member Dave Douglas wrote. Quote, we couldn't just render it in practical English, so we rendered it in nonsense instead. Readers of Spanish and English may bristle at the translation of words like preocupación to preoccupation instead of worry or concern, or master instead of teacher. But quotes like these were either directly from the British section translations, or through use of their newspaper Red Flag as a type of style guide. I want to thank the following archives: the New York Public Library, the Bibliothèque Nationale de France in Paris, the International Institute for Social History in Amsterdam, Senate House Library in London, the National Archives of Uruguay in Montevideo, the DECINCI in Buenos Aires, the Hoover Institution in Stanford, Archivo General de la Nación in Mexico, and all the patient and passionate archivists I met there. Finally, I want to thank those who encouraged me to write the book, especially Sebastian Budgen and Mackenzie Wark, and those who assisted me with housing, advice, translation, and proofreading during my 2 years of research. In no specific order: Eugene Lerner, Eric Davis, MJ Banayas, Pablo Klappenbach, Frank Garcia Hernandez, S. Sandor John, David Broder, Ben Mabey, Ross Wolf, David Schulman, Aniela Troglia, Maria Chehedonske, Jacob Blumenfeld, Sarah Ohl, Andy Battle, Julia Judge, Stephanie Monahan, Mitchell Werter, Alex Gendler, Shyam Khanna, George Macbeth, Lily Probst, Lizzie Gage and family, Lucia Vasquez and family, Alex Klein and family, Camila and Cece, The Bricolage, Sean KB, Woodbine, Mate, Fernay, and my dad. End of acknowledgements.